Ladies, have you ever been on a date and thought, I nailed it, I looked amazing, my hair was perfect, I said all the right things, only to never hear from the guy again? Meanwhile, your friend shows up late to brunch in leggings and a messy bun and guys are falling at her feet. Why? Because there are things men notice, small subconscious things, that many women don't even realize they're doing, and those things can be far more powerful than looks or even what you say. Today, I'm going to share with you 7 things women have no idea men notice, but absolutely do, and I'll wrap it all around 3 key points that tie everything together and change how you approach attraction forever. Men notice how you talk about others. If you're kind and uplifting, even when talking about someone who's not there, it signals emotional maturity and security. But if you throw subtle jabs, sarcasm, or constant criticism about your ex, your boss, or your crazy a friend, it plants a seed of doubt. Men think, how would she talk about me if I wasn't in the room? Mini story, a client once told me he was on a date with a woman who looked like a supermodel. Halfway through, she started tearing down her sister-in-law. He said he couldn't shake the Ike, never called her again. You've probably heard the stereotype that men are visual creatures. And yes, it's true that men notice appearances. But what most people don't realize is that men also pick up on subtle cues that go way beyond looks. And they do this without always realizing it themselves. Men are actually highly observant when it comes to emotional energy, tone, and behavior. They just don't talk about it the way women do. They don't go to brunch the next day and analyze your choice of words or your body language for an hour. But trust me, they feel it, and those impressions last. Let's break this down with a few examples. 1. The way you talk about others when you speak about people in your life. Your friends, your ex-coworkers. Men notice the tone you use. Are you generous and thoughtful even when talking about someone you disagree with? Or are you quick to judge, mock, or gossip? Here's why this matters. It signals your emotional maturity. A woman who can show empathy or at least neutrality, even when she's been wronged, comes across as secure, calm, and emotionally intelligent. Men subconsciously ask themselves, would she tear me apart like that if I messed up? 2. How present you are. Have you ever been on a date with someone who was checking their phone every 5 minutes, or seemed like their mind was somewhere else? It's hard to connect, right? Men notice when you're mentally there, and it makes a big impact. Presence is powerful. When you're listening intently, laughing authentically, or making eye contact that holds for a beat longer than usual, you create emotional gravity. You pull him into the moment, and that's rare. In a world full of distractions, being present is sexy. 3. How you handle awkwardness. No one gets through a relationship, or even a first date, without awkward moments. Men notice how you react to them. Do you get flustered, defensive, or do you laugh it off and keep going? Handling awkward moments with grace shows that you're confident enough to be real, that you're not living in a performance but in the present. And for a man looking for someone he can truly relax with, this is huge. So here's the takeaway. Men may not talk about these things the way women do, but they absolutely notice them. They may not even be able to explain why they feel drawn to you, but it's often because of these subtle emotional cues. That's why I always say, if you want to attract a man who sees the real you, don't just focus on what you're wearing or saying. Focus on the energy you're giving off when you think no one's watching, because that's when men are paying the most attention. When we think of confidence, most people imagine someone who's outspoken, charismatic, and fearless in social settings. Someone who commands a room with words, posture, and energy. But here's the truth, especially in the eyes of men, real confidence doesn't have to be loud. It's not always in your voice, it's in your presence. It's in how you carry yourself when no one is applauding. Confidence to a man is felt in the quiet things. It's the way you walk into a room not needing to be validated by every pair of eyes. It's the way you sit with your own silence and don't rush to fill it with nervous chatter. It's the way you say no to something without over-explaining. It's the way you receive a compliment with grace, not self-deprecation. 1. Your relationship with your own body. Let's talk about one of the biggest things men subconsciously pick up on. Your relationship with your body. Notice I didn't say your body. Men aren't walking around with a checklist of hip-to-waist ratios. What men do sense instantly is whether a woman is at war with herself or at peace. You could be in a little black dress or an oversized hoodie. If you're tugging at it constantly, if you're shrinking yourself, hiding, apologizing for your body language, that's the signal. But if you're standing tall, owning your space, moving with ease, that's what confidence looks like. It's not about perfection. It's about self-acceptance. That energy is magnetic. 2. The way you treat people who don't matter. Here's something most women don't realize. Men notice how you treat people who can't do anything for you. The way you treat a server, a receptionist, or a stranger who bumps into you. These micro-interactions speak volumes about your self-worth. Why? Because confident women don't need to assert power or superiority. They don't need to impress only the people they're trying to win over. They're kind because that's who they are, not because it's part of the performance. So when a man sees you treat everyone with consistent kindness and grace, it tells him this is someone who respects herself and others without needing the spotlight to do it. 3. Your emotional availability to joy. Another form of quiet confidence. Laughter, not performative attention, seeking laughter, but real, unguarded, joyful laughter. When you laugh freely, without trying to be cool or careful, it shows you're not walking on eggshells around life. You're not bracing for judgment, you're here to enjoy the moment, and that kind of lightness is incredibly attractive. It tells a man being around her feels good. She's not carrying heavy emotional armor. So, when I say confidence isn't loud, it's because the most powerful kind of confidence is the kind that doesn't need to prove anything. It's not about being the loudest voice in the room, it's about being the most grounded person in it. The one who isn't performing, the one who's already chosen herself long before anyone else gets the chance to. Here's something most people get wrong about attraction. They think it happens in big, dramatic moments, the sweeping romantic gestures, the perfect outfits, the unforgettable dates. But for men, attraction often happens in the tiny, easily missed moments. Not in what you plan, but in what you reveal when you're not trying so hard. Those are what I call micro-moments, those subtle flickers of personality, emotion, and energy that sneak under the radar and leave a lasting impression. 1. The power of your energy when you enter a room before you even speak. Men feel you. We all know that person who walks into a space and changes the energy without saying a word. That's not about beauty or style, that's presence. Do you walk in scanning the room for approval? Or do you walk in grounded, relaxed, with the quiet certainty that you belong? Here's what's wild. Even if a man can't describe it, he feels the difference. There's a shift when a woman enters the room not hoping to be chosen, but already choosing herself. She's not performing, she's not overthinking. She's just being, and men notice that energy shift immediately and remember it long after the night is over. 2. The unscripted, off-guard moments, the way you tuck your hair behind your ear when you're deep in thought. The moment you burst out laughing unexpectedly. The way your face softens when you talk about someone you love. Men notice these things, and they're not thinking, wow, what a perfect move. They're thinking, there's something about her. That's the beauty of micro-moments. They bypass logic and speak directly to emotion, and in relationships it's emotion, not analysis, that creates lasting bonds. 3. How you make a man feel in the smallest interactions. Ever heard the phrase, people may forget what you said, but they'll never forget how you made them feel? This applies doubly in romantic dynamics. A man may not remember your full story or the outfit you wore, but he'll remember how you looked at him when he was vulnerable, how you listened without interrupting, How you made a casual moment feel meaningful. It's those small emotional deposits that build attraction, not one grand moment, but a series of subtle, shared connections that build trust, desire, and comfort. So, here's the truth behind key point #3. Men don't fall for you in a highlight reel, they fall for you in a glance, a laugh, a quiet smile across the room. They fall in love in the in-between moments, the ones you don't even realize are happening. So stop chasing perfection, stop thinking you have to do something big to be worthy of love, because the most attractive version of you shows up when you're simply living,